I started off with this video giving you a closer look at these cars, and somehow wound up telling a story about my brother from years ago. Do you see how the car seems to be arched in the middle? That arch is called the camber and is permanently built into the car for a reason. I'll show you how you check it. Let's take and stretch a string down the side of the car from the top of one end to the top of the other end, indicated here by a red line. Then you can actually see the camber where the green arrow is and physically measure it. After years of service, that camber will fatigue. The car will sag in the middle from carrying heavy loads, and the car won't be up to standard anymore. In fact, it'll need repaired or replaced. Okay, let's stop and take a look at another one. Here's a car that may have lost some of its camber. In fact, on the right side here, it seems to be sticking up in the air. If a long car like this is sagging in the middle, it can cause a multitude of problems. I've even seen the couplers not line up properly when they're sagging like that. Now I can't properly check this car on this computer, but this particular car probably should be checked out. Let's take a look at this lever type handbrake on the side of this car. This handbrake is operated from the side standing on the ground. By lifting up and down on the ratcheting lever indicated by a green arrow here, it shortens, pulls the chain up indicated by the blue line, which in turn pulls on the orange colored brake rod here, applying the brakes on the car. That's a rather simplified explanation, but maybe give you an idea how it works. Now I can't really see any camber at all in this car. It certainly isn't visible. I can clearly see the arch in the middle of this car. Here comes a tank car. See if we can figure out what it's carrying. I can't read the numbers on the hazmat placard, but it's probably 1823. Because the car is clearly stenciled sodium hydroxide solution, also known as caustic soda or lye. There's some bad stuff here. It will eat you up. You don't want to get it on your skin or even breathe it. Can't imagine what's in these cars here. I'm just glad it ain't trucking up and down our highways. As I look at this box car here, it reminds me of back when I first went to work for the railroad. At that time, all the ladders went all the way to the top of the cars. They didn't cut them off halfway down towards the ground. Handbrakes were up real high. We had to climb all the way up the top of the car just to wind up and inspect the handbrake. But as I look at this box car, it brings a story to mind from years ago. So I think I'll conclude this video by sharing a story with you. And while I talk, I'll show you a few pictures from this train of different tags and graffiti people have put on the train. The year was about 1959 or 1960. Now my brother and I, we lived in O'Galley, Florida. We had to walk home from school every day. On the way home we came to the railroad tracks, and the Florida East Coast Railroad was stopped at the crossing. They had the crossing blocked. They had box cars back in them days that were reefer cars, carried vegetables or fruits or whatever, and they kept ice in the end of the car. Well, all we knew was it was a box car, had a ladder going all the way to the top, and you could see a trap door up there. And my brother says, I'm going to climb up on this train and see what's down in that hole. I said, you better stay off that train, you fool. Well, he didn't listen. He climbed up on the side of the train. Got all the way up to the top, lifted up the hatch, and looked down in the hatch in the car. I said, what do you see down in there? Oh, there ain't nothing in this hole but ice, he said. Well, about that time, the train started to move. The slack pulled out, the car jerked a little bit, and I could see the panic in his eyes, hanging on that boxcar. Well, he slammed the door, slammed the hatch down on the car, turned around and jumped all the way from the top of the car down to the pavement. Landed on the ground with a loud thud. He hit on his feet, but broke his ankle when he hit the pavement. Well, he was hollering and whining and carrying on. And I had to piggyback him all the way home, about 2 miles on my back, to get him home where they could take him to the doctor. I think if his leg wasn't already broke, my old man would have beat him half to death. It's kind of hard to explain to your parents how somebody got hurt. Well, how did he get hurt? He jumped off a train. That's how he got hurt. I don't know. That story just came to my mind. I thought I'd share it with you. It really got nothing to do with the making of this video. And that'll just about conclude this video. Thank you for watching.